This is part 2 of the series of the grow tunnel. Now off camera I built a second box identical to the first one. Now, remember I was telling you guys about treated pine, and you're asking why the hell would he be building a veggie patch out of treated pine? It's all bad for you. I've been accused more than once of over-engineering. If that's all I'm being accused of, I don't mind that at all. How to overcome the treated the treated pine scenario is this stuff here. It's called core flute. Now you can get this in black or white. This is the stuff that, you know, your political signs are made out of, all sorts of sign writing stuff. Cheap as hell at Bunnings. Actually, this black stuff, which I prefer, also happens to be cheaper than the white stuff. So that's how you get over the treated pine problem. So long as you put a barrier between the treated pine and the soil or the medium that you're using to grow in, there's no issue. And these boxes are going to outlast me and my grandchildren. I like to build things once only. So, boxes built. Core flute, cut the size. Staple gun, how easy is that? And once it's in place, you only basically have to hang it. Because once you fill it, the soil holds it in place. So there's no issues whatsoever. Very, very easy to work with, and it just sits there. I mean, you can go overboard, but it's totally unnecessary, because once the soil's in there, it ain't moving anywhere. That's how easy it is. Now these are available in sheets of 2.4 by 1.2. So if you're thinking ahead, which I like to do, that's why I made the beds at 2.4. I know how the things fit together. Which means you're saving a lot on offcuts that you would otherwise be throwing away, and you're saving money. Well, the whole thing is, the whole bed is made of treated pine. The corner posts on these things, the whole lot's treated pine. Cover the whole lot of the inside. You don't have to worry about the bottom, because the water needs some place to go, and it's just going to go into the ground. To alleviate any possibility of any of the nasties out of the treated pine from leaching into the soil. So provided you got the barrier between the pine and the soil, you're good to go. And I've checked up on all the literature on this, and it all backs up the theory. So not only is it cheaper to build it this way, it'll outlast anything else you're going to use, unless you're going to go with concrete. But there's one other good thing about putting this barrier on the inside, even if it wasn't treated pine. The fact that you're watering this bed, and if it was just bare wood, it would be wicking the moisture out of the soil. That to me is pretty counterproductive. You want the water in the medium to grow your plants. So there you go. I just got to cut a piece to size. Nice. Okay, for all intents and purposes, that bed's done. We're going to work on that one next. Okay, after a bit of swearing and split knuckles, we managed to get this in place. Oh, that didn't work. Needs a bigger head. If big is good, then bigger is better. I like it when a plan comes together. And there you have it, basically. What we're going to do next is fill this with soil, compostable materials. I've got some mulch, all that type of stuff for down the bottom, because as you probably know, for any garden bed you only need about 200 mil for the roots to penetrate down to. I mean, it's good if you got more, but 200 mil is pretty adequate, and all the stuff that we're going to put in underneath, which will compost down on its own, will add nutrition to the soil. It'll attract the worms, which is better again for the soil. Now we've got some compost. I've got some leftover hay that we originally used for the big raised garden beds out the back. I'll get rid of some of that. Okay, I started filling these beds, just all and any organic matter. I had a pile of leftover hay bales, which look like they've composted down of their own accord. Bloody lovely. All that goes in. It'll compost down some more. I lost me mic, I did. Is that, your name isn't Jimmy by any chance, is it? Okay, just checking. I'm going to top these up to about halfway with this organic stuff, and then I'll put the actual stuff we're going to be growing the veggies in. Potting mix, cow manure, actual compost over the top mixed together, and some pelletised chook manure, in our case Rooster Booster. I love the name. So we'll just keep going on this, and show you when we start putting the potting mix stuff in. Okay, we're nearly coming to the end of it. This is the premium potting mix that I'm adding to top up over all that organic material, and just bits of odds and sods of soil I had left over in old containers, just to top up the bottom half. Otherwise it gets expensive loading the whole lot with potting mix and all the good stuff. So they put all the shitty soil down the bottom, saves you a lot of money, and it still does the job just as you need. Because remember, most veggies only need 200 mil for root depth, rather than the whole 400 that we built it. Why did we build it at 400? Saves you back a little instead of having to be right down there on the ground with it. Makes it easier to work. Now I'll add some manure, and if necessary I'll top it up with a bit more. I'll be back in a sec. And he's back with his trusty cow. Why do we add cow manure? It acts like a compost, it's very good for it. But also acts like a sponge and keeps the moisture in, which means you don't have to water as often. And that's got to be good. Yeah, I'm thinking that should just about do it. Because I want to be able to top it up with mulch. Typically the cane sugar, the cane mulch, and that should take it up to the full level. But first, gonna add some goodies to it. Where is it? Right there. Pelletized chook manure. This stuff won't burn the roots. Never use chook manure out of the garden unless it's been aged for at least 6 months. Otherwise it will burn your plants. I'll give that a slight dig through, not much at all, just basically turning it over. Add the sugarcane mulch and we're done. That's how we do it. Now, personally, I like to give these beds a coat of decking oil. Purely aesthetics, but it also helps protect, even though it's treated pine, it helps protect it. And over time these things will turn a horrible grey colour as they age. Whereas if you give them a decking oil once over, brush over, it'll stay like that pretty much forever. Perfect example. One I've done and one I haven't. See how different they come up. Just makes it prettier, but it also protects it. I think we're pretty much done. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. Good on you guys.